Breaking news: the euro has collapsed suddenly and mysteriously like a vaccine victim. And it's only going to get worse because the continent is ruled by criminals and aristocrats. This is the blowback of travel restrictions, lockdowns, even economic sanctions. It's going to be a dark and cold winter in Europe because they're not going to have enough fuel or gas. And now they're telling the farmers, you can't farm. They're going to be shutting down the farms in Europe. It's part of their agenda to starve you into compliance. You will own nothing. You will eat bugs. That is essentially the menu on the dinner table. And so a revolution is about to break out in Europe. There's a revolution happening right now in Sri Lanka. You see video of the president fleeing the country with suitcases full of money as protesters storm the White House and burn down the Prime Minister's palace. But the country has been totally robbed by the New World Order, pillaged. And this is the future brought to us by the New World Order, brought to us by Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates. And it's happening in America as well. People are starting to taste the economic theft, the thievery. But while other countries are rising up, we're just watching it happen. And so people need to organize before there's nothing left to save. Right now, we've seen the total destruction of our country, morally, economically, spiritually, thanks to these liberals and this New World Order. And soon there'll be nothing left. And that's why people have to organize before it's too late, massively. Time is running out. And the worst is yet to come. If it can happen in Europe, if it can happen in Sri Lanka, it can happen in America. We're $33 trillion in debt. We don't actually really produce anything anymore. It's all made in China. And so, obviously, the situation is precarious, to say the least. But the collapse in Europe just confirms what people have already known for many years, that the euro was a bad idea. Prices immediately began to skyrocket back in the late 90s, as soon as all of the different monies were essentially consolidated into this euro run by Germany. Essentially, Germany was able to take over the entire continent without firing a shot with this European Union. And initially, most countries rejected the European Constitution, rejected German leadership. But that didn't stop the aristocrats and the ruling elite from essentially overturning referendums and ratifying this constitution without public support. It was an illegal operation to begin with. And people that are living in Europe are living a nightmare of socialism, of economic poverty, thanks to this system, a system of pure evil and tyranny that has essentially raped its population. And it's only going to get worse. Much, much worse as the situation devolves into transhuman society. They basically want to make people so fragile, life so unbearable, that people will be running for the brain chip, running for the matrix, any way to escape the horror brought to us by this new world order. And this is the same plan in every country. They're burning down food processing plants, they're shutting down farms, they're killing animals. And so it's only a matter of time before the food runs out. It's only a matter of time before the fuel runs out. It's only a matter of time before things become so unaffordable that you'll be out on the street like Soylent Green. That's the plan. And so right now it's a crisis in just about every country. It's not just about gas prices, it's not just about food prices, but we have a massive housing crisis thanks to this open borders policy. Europe and America have let in tens of millions of people who need some place to live. And so gone are the days of cheap rent, gone are the days of cheap housing, because there's not enough homes for people out there. So many people can't even afford to rent an apartment anymore. People can't afford to feed themselves. People can't afford to drive around like they used to. And it's only going to get worse. And that's why people are rising up in various countries. They've seen enough. They've had enough. They're burning it all down. The New World Order, that is. But we're just sitting at home, hoping that the next election will bring us a better future. But there's no voting these people out. You don't get a real choice in the elections. And so things are never going to change until people take matters into their own hands. And it's beginning in Europe, it's beginning in Sri Lanka. There's a massive protest in Melbourne today. We're seeing a lot of action in various countries, but we're not seeing a whole lot of action in America. It's like people are afraid. When in the history of America have patriots been afraid of tyranny? Well, they are now. Many people are afraid to speak out. Many people are afraid to take action as the system starves you and genocides you. They're poisoning the food, the air, the water, surrounding you with death towers. Making things totally unaffordable. And it's only a matter of time before they replace you with a robot. You're going to find yourself a slave on the plantation. You're going to see what real misery is all about. You might be living comfortably now, thinking that you're buffered from the situation, but no one can get off the grid. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. Eventually, resources will run out. Eventually, you'll be affected. by what's going on. And so, trying to hold out like a series of Survivor is not going to make a difference against a legion of stormtroopers or Skynet robots. The only course of action here is to dispose of the tyranny before there's nothing left, before time runs out. These people like communism and socialism so much, we should be reappropriating the resources of all of these cronies and the like. The Klaus Schwab, the Bill Gates. They don't need all those hundreds of billions of dollars. Nancy Pelosi is way too rich. There's no telling what these other dictators are worth, but they didn't work for their money. They stole it from the people. And so we should take it all back. Take our country back. Take our money back. There's no reason for gas being $5 a gallon. These people are stealing from us every time you go to the gas station, every time you go to the grocery store, every time you pay rent. These people are stealing from you. And to make matters worse, they're trying to starve you and kill you and molest little children. There's really no looking the other way here. Something must be done before there's nothing left. If they can crash Bitcoin, if they can crash the euro, they'll crash the dollar. They say, oh, the dollar's worth more than ever. But you're not getting any of those savings. Your dollar is worth less than ever. And soon Bill Gates will own all of the farmland. Bill Gates will own your neighborhood, your school, your child. Forcing vaccine updates without your permission. This is not what freedom is about. This is not what America is about. How much more do you need to see before you take action? Do you have to wait until you're starving in the street, destitute with nothing? What good are you then? You think these people on the street can do anything? This is your future. And so, don't expect the next election to save you. Don't expect these people on television to save you. They're just buying time as they rape you. Till the next time, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.